Hey everyone, it's LaShonda from Labors of Love with another Therapy Thursday video. Today, I actually want to talk about a video that I did on Sunday. It was not a Therapy Thursday video. It was actually me really sharing my heart from a very vulnerable space. I feel like I have learned some things since that video, or at least have been open to exploring them. And I just wanted to share a few of those things. So one, even though I've been doing Therapy Thursday videos for over a year and a half, and I feel like I have some really good content that is helpful, I usually don't get a lot of people watching them, not by number anyway, like how many views, though I still think they're impactful for the people who watch them. What I noticed is the video that I did on Sunday at this point is up to about 2,000 people watching it. And it made me ask myself, what are some of the differences between the videos I normally do in this video and why do I think that it's different? And a few conclusions I have come to is one, I realized that the general public and the white people associated with the general public do not often get access to raw Black vulnerability that is not associated with anger. And I think that creates and fosters this narrative of Black people being angry. But I want to talk a little bit about how the raw vulnerability in regards to like tears and sadness that I shared is not something that is usually for public consumption. One, because I think there's a legitimate fear that people will use that against the people who are expressing it and turn the strength that is that vulnerability into weakness. But I also want to paint a very vivid picture. Let's say specifically for me as a Black woman, living within my body, right? The DNA of who I am as a Black woman in this country. My ancestors had to stifle back their tears as their loved ones were brutally beaten and murdered in front of them. A mother would have to, for fear of death or being beaten, conceal and stifle her emotions when her family members were being sold to other people as property away from her. So please understand that being able to pull all these things in and not have outward reactions and being vulnerable in front of other people who can weaponize it has been part of our survival. So I think what was intriguing to people was that they were seeing something that they very rarely get to see. But I was also interested in the fact that the people who have been responding to me based on the video have mostly been white. And I also want to acknowledge to my Black brothers and sisters that there is a possibility that my video was viewed as a betrayal. Like I took family business and put it out in public. And like I displayed something that usually is only for our internal close observation. And so I just want to name that. This is not good, bad. I'm not defending myself, nor am I suggesting that I approached anything in a way that was better than anyone else. I just want to call things out as I'm recognizing them. And I don't know that a lot of Black people may even have those words or identify with that feeling, but I just want to call that out, that that's a very real thing. I have had some conversations with my Black friends who have said, like, one, I couldn't watch it. So they had to dismiss themselves from that video of me because it was too raw and it was too vulnerable. And again, like, nope, just not doing it, because moving into that space can sometimes take you out of the space of anger. And sometimes that anger is what is fueling us to protest and to advocate and to do those things. I've heard some people, confirm the things that I said. Yeah, like it just felt like, why are you doing that in public? Though they didn't express anger with me. It is just these things that are there. And some acknowledge that, we as Black people don't sometimes connect with the tear part of the frustration and anger, but more with the mobilized anger, the mobilized frustration of it and what that looks like. Whereas white people have a tendency to connect more with tears. And so it was probably potentially appealing to them because tears were involved. Either way, I'm just sharing my thoughts. I think 2,000 people watching that video hopefully could yield saying, wow, like this is a real thing. And like people are hurting. But then also there are people, because of once it's out there, it's out there. You can't control how it's shared. There are people I don't know who are posting, and people under them in their circle still saying white privilege doesn't exist. Right. So it's just this very interesting time that I wanted to share about that video. But I also wanted to make it very clear that my response and my reaction to what is happening is not to be compared to other people to create a hierarchy of response. AKA, do not have this narrative that if you really want to get people to understand you or inspire change, respond like she did, she being me, and then compare that to people who are out there burning down buildings and busting up cars, because you don't get to do that. All of us are expressing our pains and our hurts. And I just want to leave you with one final thought. Someone actually said, white privilege does not exist. You reap what you sow. And I will just say this. One, this is the reaping, but it's only a very small part of the reaping. Where we are now, not being heard, constantly and consistently being oppressed systemically, institutionally, interpersonally. This is part of the reaping. But what I assured that person who has since removed her comment is you actually don't want people to reap what they sow. Because if America actually reaped what it has sown in stealing land and killing indigenous people, stealing people from their continent to bring them here to work for free labor, kill them, rape them, brutally beat them, and then create systems that will perpetuate and maintain that system, surely you don't want to see that reaping. And so it is my encouragement that the people who actually make it through this video, the people who watch that other video, the people who are sending me the messages, this is when I say, get y'all people. It's time for y'all to have some real conversations. It's time for you all to really start mobilizing, because if America begins to truly reap what she has sown, it's all going to be burnt up. So I just wanted to share my thoughts about the video, its responses, and just reiterate that we are still out here fighting, moving, advocating to change the system because, we're tired. If you need help, I am still offering therapy services. I am still training. I am still using my platform to help people understand these things in deeper ways. Reach out to me at Labors of Love, www.thelaborsoflove.com. All the social media outlets, our YouTube channel, Labors of Love Counseling and Consulting. And don't forget the podcast. Earlier this week, Luna Malbrough and I put out another podcast specific to racism, racial trauma, white supremacy, and our need for self-care. And that is everywhere you listen to podcasts. Until we connect again, you all be well.